Okay, so Gutvoid is a Canadian death metal band that formed just a couple years ago out in kind of the Toronto area out in Ontario, Canada. And they're definitely rooted in old school death metal. They're definitely coming from a place where that was the core interest they shared as two guitarists who kind of, I think they met through either like grindcore buddies or just people who, friends that listen to metal, and they happen to both be uh, really proficient guitarists, very prolific with their ideas, and this I can tell is an idea that they really want to put their all into, put a lot of care into, because they know it has a lot of potential. And probably because the whole Finnish death metal thing really matters to them, and it is some of the, it is kind of where death metal has created most of its biggest releases in the last several years. Between, like I'll point out things like Crypts and Demigod, and um, the the foundational rhythm guitar interest on this album really does lie in that sort of like remnants of expansion from Crypts is a big reference here. Demigod's first full length is, obviously where a lot of the movement comes from when things do go flying. There are some deeper cuts here, but um, if you want like pure like gory death metal, they've got other groups that touch upon that. They've got a death thrash group together, these two main guys, and I reviewed Intestinal Hex a while ago. That is much more like the Demolic side of things. This is bigger, longer songs. It's their sort of death doom, but not like classic plain death doom. This is sort of the melodic and involved and immersive side of that, which still includes death metal. Um, Proper, I guess that's the way I would put it. So this album doesn't just, the reason I've given it such a high score, and we can just get right to that, is because it goes a step beyond just all of those hallmarks. Uh, they do have like proclivity, or they're well versed in more sophisticated forms of progressive music. These people are obviously very well capable of progressive music without overdoing it, and uh, finding the size of atmosphere you find on like a Spectral Voice record, or a, like I said, like the more earlier Finnish death metal. And again, like they had the drummer from Crypts who has mixed and mastered their last three or four albums, however many, um, mastered this or mixed this, and then I think Colin Marston, who you should just kind of know, mastered it. So you can see how they're putting the progressive and the Finnish death doom both into this thing. So it's not just like some wannabe band putting out a record really quick. It's really well considered. It's like a 50-minute record that it gets into it, and it creates those deep pockets of immersion, um, where I'm at my best. Like I just love the way they put this together. That's why it got such a high score. It's why I recommend it so much. Now, what else out there sounds like this? Really, I mean, there are things that Solothus do. There's things that Ataraxy are doing, the Spanish band, um, that are pretty similar. And I think this one just hits really well with me because they also nail some of the old school Finnish weirding stuff. Like I said, you'll find on Intestinal Hex as well, which, it's not full on Demolic, but it is adjacent to like Disgrace and those early bands. Um, so it just, they put it together into these long, very involved songs. Some that are 5 minutes, some that are, approaching 10. The closer I think is 14, 15 minutes. And yeah, for me, it's just one of the best records of the year. It's just, they totally got me with this one. And I found myself listening to it over and over. I found that it was just like one of those sort of, like I knew it was going to be good. I remember I premiered their debut EP when it came out on CD. I interviewed the bands. I knew where they were coming from. I knew, they were going to turn up something good, but I didn't know it was going to be this evolved, this fast, and this considered. Like they really just put together the complete modern death doom metal package, and it happens to be freaking great. So, probably my highest recommendation for the month. I've not really decided whether or not another album will sit higher, but for now, this is like the crowning achievement of September for me. It is probably the most important month of the year so far. But we'll see how it goes because I think this is one of the ones to beat this year. The only reason I didn't go to 100 with it is because I really think there's room to grow and uh, try not to throw out the hundreds as much. Otherwise, yeah, this is like a guaranteed purchase. Like for me, it's just yes. uh, so take that as the almost as high as possible recommendation for me. So there you go.